Bengt Olson, you say that the reason Scientology is building so-called ideal orgs is that they have to. They can't just hoard money because they are tax exempt. So they build new orgs that are basically empty buildings and brag about how they are expanding. But in a video on YouTube, you also say that ideal orgs are paid and renovated by local Scientologists and that they rent the building they bought and renovated from the mother church. If this is true, then Scientology seems to be doing what you said they can't do, hoarding money. Which statement is true? Both? Okay, well, first to correct one point, I never said, or I don't believe that I've said, that they charge rent. When an ideal org is purchased and then renovated by Scientology International, it's basically given over to the local church. I mean, that's their building now, and they don't have to pay rent. And that was one of the points of doing this, was that most of the money that these local churches were making pre-ideal org was going to their rent, or going to their mortgage payment, or going to their lease payment, because they were renting the facility, right? So that's where the money was going, and it wasn't going to international management who wanted their money. So this ideal org program was, let's invest some money down and then we can be making more money up. At least as far as contribution goes from the city level class 5 orgs, these ideal orgs. All right, now as far as the hoarding money thing goes, the Church of Scientology International has paid for some of these ideal orgs. They haven't, not every one of these orgs, and especially as the years have rolled on here, not all of them have been paid for by the local parishioners, the local church staff or Scientologists, let's say in, Keokuk. Keokuk, wasn't making it. Okay, a real example, Valley Organization, that great big monstrosity of a building in San Fernando Valley. They were working on that thing for over 10 years and they hadn't gotten it paid for or renovated. So money probably came down from, because suddenly it was done. So money probably came down from Scientology International in order to get that done. Same with Kaohsiung in Taiwan. And I think I got that right. I know it's called Kaohsiung. And I know also the one in Ireland that they just opened up, that was funded by Church of Scientology International. So they are spending money out of their reserves in order to build some of these ideal org buildings. They've also got the L. Ron Hubbard houses that they have purchased and maintain all over the world. Every place Hubbard lived, they've been buying up the property and renovating and making it a little L. Ron Hubbard museum. That's all been funded by Church of Scientology International. And of course, they just bought the Scientology Media Productions facility, and that they did some fundraising for that. For sure, they fundraised from local Scientologists, but they, I think when the rubber met the road, they were probably spending a little bit more on that. Though I can't really be sure. They could have actually made money on that too, and this is the next part I'm going to go into, which is for years they did do local fundraising, and so that money that came up from the fundraising went to Church of Scientology International. And some of that money went back down to pay for the building and then pay for the renovations for that building. So the church was getting money and spending money. And I believe that most of these orgs were overcharged for the renovations that were done by Scientology internationally. And so the church ended up making more money than they spent on those local city churches, if that makes sense. But they still can show the IRS that they're investing money down into these churches, and so they get the best of both worlds, so to speak, on that, right? So that's how I think all that works. I hope that answers your question. If there's anything that's not clear about what I said, just let me know, but I hope that does it.